Welcome to the Dynasty Dugout Show, a podcast covering all things minor league baseball. Get a front row seat to the action with everything you need to know about the future stars of Major League Baseball. And now, here's your host, Chris Clegg.
All right, and welcome to the show. It is Wednesday, April the 2nd, and we're back to talk some more baseball. We had some masterful pitching performances in the MLB side and even the minor league side as AAA got back in action for a full week of series this week. So new 6-game set starting on the AAA side. And we had some impressive hitters as well. We'll break them all down today. But first, the show is brought to you by Connect Roasters. It's Ian Happ's coffee company. Be sure to go to connectroasters.com, use the code Dynasty Dugout checkout, or use the link in the description and get you some Gold Glove Blend. Buy one, get one 50% off. It's an incredibly smooth blend of coffee, and however you make it, you'll love it. I already had my cup this morning. I'm recording a little later this morning. I had some prior obligations this morning, but I'll probably get another cup after this. We're also proud to be sponsored by Chinook Seedery, the best seeds in the game. Go to chinookseedery.com, use the code Dynasty Dugout at checkout, and get 10% off your order. All right, let's dive into the show. Off the top, Shane Baz was absolutely dominant. Baz had an electric start. He struck out 10 batters across 6 innings of work. He looked dominant. It was one of the more impressive starts that we've seen from Shane Baz to this point in his career. And it's what we have hoped that Shane Baz could be for a long time. If you go back to his prospect days, there was all the pedigree in the world, and he looked like he was going to be able to really take that step. COVID hit. He had an injury. It's kind of all downhill, but Baz is back. He struck out 10 Pirates. He did not issue a walk. He did allow 7 hits, but none crossed the plate. I thought his performance was awesome. It was beyond the performance what mattered most to me. The fastball averaged 97 miles an hour. It touched 100. He averaged 95.7 last year, so that jump is substantial. The shape is held. It's a pretty similar shape to what it was last year, as has the release point. But what I think is notable is the pitch mix change with Shane Baz. He led with his curveball, using it 35% of the time on Tuesday. The curve was his third most used offering in 2024 at 20%. So a nice jump in usage for Baz, and his slider shape looked different. We saw a little bit of velocity drop, about 1 mile an hour drop, which, yeah, it's fine. It's not that substantial, but with the shape it got, it had more depth, and it had 4 more inches of drop and pretty good horizontal movement. Changeup had a little bit higher spin rates, 3 more inches of arm side fade. Baz, if he maintains the velocity jump and if he is able to, keep the sequencing like he did on Tuesday night, we could be in for a really good season from Shane Baz. Phenomenal start there. Also, we have to highlight Logan Gilbert, who's absolutely an ace. You may look at the box score and you say, oh, he allowed 3 runs across 5 innings of work. Whatever. He had 22 whiffs and 10 strikeouts, added 13 more called strikes. It was an elite performance from Logan Gilbert. I mean, you could say he had some BABIP luck in the first inning too, which did allow him to allow some runs to cross, but man, was he good. 10 strikeouts, 22 whiffs stand out. He sequenced completely differently than his first start. First start, he was sequencing and mixing like 3 different pitches at a 25% rate, and in last night's start, it was 50% fastball usage. It worked, though. The fastball had a 47% whiff rate, so near 50%. And the splitter was dominant, had 9 whiffs on it on 17 swings while sitting around 83 miles an hour. Velocity is taking a step back on the splitter. It doesn't matter. The shape's even better, and it looks absolutely dominant. He looks incredible. The fastball is down a tick. Again, I'm not worried. I said that last show. Not worried about his fastball because he's added IVB to it. It works. He's looking really, really good. Logan Gilbert is an ace. Also, let's talk about Shane Smith. It was an up and down first start for him, but my goodness, does the stuff look good. Shane Smith tossed 5 2/3 innings. He only struck out 3, but he allowed just 2 hits. He walked 4. That was the biggest issue with Smith, was ultimately the walks. But the stuff looked good. He threw some really nasty changeup. It was like this turbo changeup that set 90.5 miles an hour. It was up to 92.7 with just an absurd movement profile. The pitch averaged 16 inches of horizontal break up to 20. crazy stuff there and had really good depth. You can see it in the video if you're watching on YouTube. Shane Smith looked really good. It's just all about strike throwing. He landed 45 of his 73 pitches for strikes. So we want to see that rate come up a little bit, but it's not a detriment. He lived in the zone with his four seam, maybe a little too much, but it worked. A 74% zone rate on the four seam, 56% zone rate overall. Into the day with 11 whiffs, a 32% whiff rate, and a 30% CSW. The fastball was moving as well for Shane Smith. It's at 95 miles an hour up to 97.3. Had up to 19 inches of IVB on it with good horizontal as well. The slider looked sharp. The changeup was beautiful. Awesome, awesome start from Shane Smith despite the walk issues. If he can clean that up, then we're cooking, baby. There's a lot to like with Shane Smith. A couple other notables from the day. Nate Eovaldi threw a complete game, 4 hit, no earned runs, 8 strikeouts, under 100 pitches. He had a Maddox. Greg Maddux, under 99 or under 100 pitches for a complete game, just dominated the Reds lineup. It was incredibly fun to see. A couple other pitching standouts. Kodai Senga did strike out 8 batters, which was good, but he allowed 4 runs, just 2 earned, including a home run. Sandy Alcantara was hit around a little bit, but he did get through 5 innings with 2 earned runs and 4 strikeouts. Corbin Burns was generating the whiffs, 8 strikeouts and 4 1/3, but he also allowed 2 earned and walked 3. I do want to dissect Will Warren a little bit because Warren is a fun arm that has gotten a lot of hype this offseason, and for good reason. Warren threw 5 innings. He allowed just 1 hit. He struck out 2 batters. He walked 4, and he struck out 4. It was honestly like a typical Will Warren start. A lot of good, some bad, and some in between. But Warren looked the part. He used 3 of his pitches at least 20% of the time, and he threw the sinker 15%. The fastball looked good, even though the velocity was 92, which is a little lower than we're used to from Warren, but it works. He does create good ride and run on that pitch on the four-seamer, so high spinning pitch. He spins all of his pitches exceptionally well. He had 5 whiffs on 10 swings on the four-seam, so a 50% whiff rate on the fastball. Will absolutely play. The sweeper was sweeping, does what it did best. 19 inches of horizontal on average, up to 24 inches of glove side movement is insane. The sinker and changeup go the other way. There's so much horizontal separation between the 2 pitches. You look at the changeup, we'll put a sweeper here in the video, the next pitch being a changeup. Up to 19 inches of arm side fade on the changeup. Good pitch as well. And the sinker's a nice pitch to get ground ball outs with. You look and, yeah, he lives in the zone with it. He doesn't miss a ton of bats with it, but it's a good, weak ground ball inducing pitch. So Will Warren is a fun one. I think Will Warren could be in for a really solid year this year. So keep a close eye on him. I think there's a lot to like in that profile. Other notables before we talk about some minor leaguers, because there were some really good minor league performances that are worth noting as well. But we look in Chad Patrick. He made his MLB debut. He did not allow a run. Yeah, he walked 3, but he struck out 5 across 4 2/3. So that is at least worth checking out. I mean, Patrick's going to be in this rotation because they don't have anybody else. It's a really rough rotation right now. Hayden Wesneski, 3 earned across 5 innings with 6 strikeouts. Dueled off against Logan Webb, who went 7 innings, allowed 1 earned run, 0 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Michael King was dominant, 5 scoreless innings, 2 hits, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts. He faced a Guardians lineup that's full of contact-oriented hitters. And guess what? They weren't making contact yesterday. 11 strikeouts, obviously, of note there. He looked really good. I've struggled with Michael King all offseason. Like, is he legit? Can he back what he did last year? Certainly looks like it. He looks the part to me. Great start by Michael King. Casey Mize, 5 2/3 scoreless, just 1 hit. He did walk 3, but he struck out 6 batters, so really good start from Casey Mize. Luis Severino struggled. Justin Steele struggled. Again, the ball flies in Sacramento. We've seen that pretty early, so kind of be on the lookout for that. Chris Sale struggled. He pitched well for the most part. I watched his entire start. He struck out 5. He didn't issue a walk, but he hit a couple batters, and Mookie Betts homered, and it kind of threw him off a bit, but Dustin May faced off against him. 5 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, not earned, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts for Dustin May. On the minor league side, some standout arms. We had some really good gems. Luinder Avila, he had a very good start, struck out 11 across 5 2/3 innings, just 1 hit allowed and 1 walk. He needed just 79 pitches to get through those 5 2/3. He had 14 whiffs on 37 swings. He led with his downer curveball, which is sharp, had 12 of the 14 whiffs on that pitch alone. Tall and skinny frame, some projection left. Throws from a high 3/4 slot and gets lots of extension. From a fastball perspective, Luinder Avila averages 95. He's up from last year. It was like 93-ish, topping towards 95 last year. Now he's sitting 95, topping at 97. The sinker gets good arm side run. He gets a little more IVB on the 4-seam, but he cuts it a little bit, which is interesting. Changeup, lesser used pitch, but upper 80s, good depth and late fade. Curveball, as I said, he led with it. It's dominant. It's ticked up a little bit. Set 79-82 last year. Now it's 81-83. Good depth and over 10 inches of sweeping action. He doesn't get much love, but he's on the cusp of making a major league debut, and he's really, really good. Then we had a pretty good pitching matchup in Durham last night between A.J. Blubaugh and Joe Boyle. Obviously, Joe Boyle is electric. Blubaugh is just a pitcher through and through. Blubaugh was dominant in his first start. Struck out 9 batters across 6 scoreless. Did not issue a walk, but he allowed 4 hits. Really only 1 hard hit. It was a 101-mile-an-hour line out to center. And Blubaugh generated 17 whiffs. Distributed them evenly between all pitch types. 6 whiffs on the fastball and sweeper. 4 on the changeup. Fastball, really solid traits. The IVB was up. Last year, he averaged 16.5 inches. On Tuesday, it was 18.5 inches from the same release point. Topped at 97 miles an hour, and he had a 43% whiff rate on the offering. Changeup velo's up, 85-87, 20 inches of fade consistently. It's a good pitch. Very, very fun offering there. Throws a sweeper with good depth and 10 to 12 inches of sweeping action. Similar velocity range to the changeup previously, but this year there's a little more separation. Blubaugh also throws a cutter and a curve. It's a deep arsenal. He's a good pitcher. And we also look at the strike throwing. 73% strikes, really good. Very high floor arm. And we had Joe Boyle. He had 4 innings of work with 6 strikeouts. 2 hits and walks and runs apiece, so 2s across the board for Joe Boyle, but he generated 16 whiffs in just 4 innings. 47% whiff rate is absurd. He had 9 more called strikes. Fastball averaged 98.5 for Boyle, and he topped at 100, which is insane. 12 of the 16 whiffs came on the fastball, which is kind of unheard of when your fastball's missing that many bats. He creates impressive ride and run on the pitch and in high-level velocity band. There's a new-look changeup. It's registering as a sinker because he throws it 93, 94 miles an hour, but it has depth. It has 15 to 20 inches of arm side run, which is crazy. Slider set in 91 with strong shape. 31% whiff rate on the pitch. Joe Boyle has the stuff. Can he throw enough strikes is the question. He had a 59% strike rate in the game on Tuesday, which isn't bad. Like you want to see, I like to see 62%. So not all that bad, but not great. So Boyle's a fun arm. Keep an eye on him. Let's take a quick break, and we will get right back to it with some hitters. All right, welcome back from the break. While Tuesday didn't give us a ton of huge hitter performances like we've seen previously, there are some hitters to note, and definitely some of the minors. Brandon Lowe, he homered for the second time on the year. Big fly. He had 3 hits as well. 3 RBIs and a walk, so reached base 4 times on Tuesday. If Lowe can stay healthy, he's going to be really, really good. You look at when Brandon Lowe's been at his best, and obviously it's those seasons he's stayed healthy. He's only eclipsed 450 plate appearances 1 time in his career. It was 2021 when he had 615. Also the same year he had 39 home runs. So definitely worth noting that if he can stay healthy, he may really take off. He blasted a home run off of Thomas Harrington, 109 miles an hour off the bat in the 4th inning. Had 2 more singles. His bat is perfect for Steinbrenner Field, where the Rays will play their home games this year. I think a 30 home run season is in order for Brandon Lowe. It would not be shocking to see him reach that pretty easily. Kyle Tucker homered again. That's just every day. 4 straight days with homers. just getting absurd at this point. I think it's also 4 straight days of multi-hit performances. Don't quote me on that. I don't have it in front of me. But Jake Mangum, who is Jake Mangum, and is he relevant? I mean, it's been an interesting career for Jake Mangum. He was a 29-year-old journeyman drafted in 2019 out of Mississippi State. It's been a long road in the minors. He's put in the work, and he finally made his major league debut, filling in for Josh Lowe, who's hurt, and he set the world on fire at this point. A single and a double on Tuesday. Mangum's up to 7 hits, and he has 3 stolen bases as well. He's going to be a major fab target for this weekend. I think people are going to be very excited about his potential and what he can do. I'm still a little skeptical personally. The contact's been awesome to see, and he's been a contact hitter in the past. He has some speed. He can steal you bases. That's been evident. But what kind of power do we get from Jake Mangum? It's still to be determined. I'm not sure. This is a fun story, but I'm not sure if it lasts all year. We'll see. But I'd ride the wave while you can. I'm not going out and spending a ton on Mangum right now in a fantasy league. I just don't see the long-term viability. But you can't deny that what he's done so far has been really, really fun. Jordan Walker hit a bomb. He's looked good so far. It's been much of the same for Walker, though. I mean, he had the 107-mile-an-hour homer that went 419 feet. He also smoked a 108-mile-an-hour single. Jordan Walker has eclipsed his max EV already this year, having a batted ball at 116.5 miles an hour, which is just absurd power. The bat speed is elite, and there's minimal effort in the bat speed, too, so the ball just jumps off the bat. It's explosive. His air rate right now is pretty low at 50%, right in line with what he's done in the past. His contact rate is up a few percentage points, but it's a very small sample. If Walker can lift the ball enough, he's a 30 home run bat. That's just the nature of how good I believe that Jordan Walker can be, given the power that he brings to the table. It's just a matter of, does he lift enough? Does he make enough contact? And that's still to be determined. Other notable home runs we'll hit on real quick, because I do want to talk about some AAA players, because there was some good standouts there. Wyatt Langford homered. He smoked balls all night. I think he had 4 over 100 miles an hour EVs, I think. Brandon Nimmo had a homer. Kyle Stowers homered. Jose Altuve homered. Anthony Volpe homered again. A lot of good performers on Tuesday. Corbin Carroll, Elliot Ramos, Mookie Betts, obviously I mentioned earlier. Jackson Merrill, who just got a big extension. Congrats to Jackson. Well-deserved extension there. Jason Dominguez homered. A lot of home runs yesterday. Much more than on the minor league side. I do want to hit on a couple players, but there was not a lot of home runs on the minor league side. Marcelo Mayer was one of them, though. 106.9-mile-an-hour homer. Traveled 411 feet. It actually wasn't a very easy day for pitching matchups for him. Edward Cabrera got the start on rehab. He handled his own. He singled off a 98-mile-an-hour Edward Cabrera fastball early on in the game. And then they brought in Pat Monteverde, who's a crafty lefty. Doesn't throw hard, I get it. Marcelo's homer was off a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. But Mayer didn't have a home run last year against lefties, and he showed some interesting platoon splits. Pretty good sign for Mayer to do what he did in this game. His power's consistently taking steps forward. He looked really, really good this spring. He looks a little more comfortable contact-wise, and he's always hit fastballs well. It's just a question of, can he hit enough breaking balls? I believe that he can. So in that case, I am very, very excited about the potential. I think Mayer's probably a midsummer call-up. Where does he fit in this lineup? Hard to say right now. It's a good lineup, and Roman Anthony's got to find a spot too. Max Acosta, formerly known as Maximo, one of the top international signees a long time ago. Acosta's had a interesting road where he was very hyped. Obviously missed 2020 season due to COVID. And he came back and was kind of mediocre, and people were kind of like, who is this guy? Like, it just doesn't really matter. But Acosta had a really good year last year. He continued to improve his contact skills. His contact rate was over 80% last year. He cut the chase rate pretty substantially, put it around 24%, and he added power. Like, he's right now around MLB average exit velocities, which is good. He wound up slashing 288, 353, 425 with 8 home runs and 26 stolen bases. I think there's more juice in the bat than that, so that'll be fun to watch as well. Like, how much power does he get to? But he homered. I think he's one of the more underrated players in the minors at this point. He checked in at like 140, I think, in my latest prospect rankings. He could be a top 100 prospect soon, and nobody's really blocking him in this Marlins lineup. So it would not shock me to see Max Acosta be up pretty soon, despite being 22 years old. He had tough pitching matchups, too. Brayan Bello was on rehab, so what a great AAA game. We had Brayan Bello against Edward Cabrera, which is fascinating on rehab, and Hunter Dobbins followed. Hunter Dobbins is legit. Hunter Dobbins is a really good pitcher, but he smashed the 101-mile-an-hour home run off of Dobbins, and he also had a single off of Brayan Bello at 105 miles an hour, so those are of note. He had another hard-hit ball in the sixth, which was a deep fly out to the opposite field. I like Acosta a lot. I think he's kind of sneaky. I think that he should probably be on people's radars more than he is currently. There's a lot to like in that profile. It's just, does he hit enough? We'll see. So I think Acosta could be up fairly soon, and you could capitalize. I don't think his prospect value is where it should be. A couple other quick hitters in the minors. Denzel Clark had 4 hits, which was encouraging, drove in 3. I mean, Clark's a phenomenal center fielder. I think that's what stood out to me the most in the Arizona Fall League is Clark is a stud defensive center fielder. He's 6'4", he's got power, he's got speed. It's all about contact. He improved the contact rates all last year, and the results followed. I'm in on Clark, near top 100 prospect. Robert Hassel had 3 hits. Good for him. He needs to really have a big year. Cody Freeman of the Texas Rangers, another fun prospect I saw in the AFL. He had 2 home runs last night. Only hitter with multi-home runs, I think, in all of baseball yesterday. So that was obviously worth a note. Sean Murphy homered on rehab. Tim Tawa of the Arizona Diamondbacks homered. Gunnar Henderson homered on rehab. Judd Fabian homered. Vaughn Grissom homered. Good for him. I mentioned Marcelo and Acosta. So obviously there were some standouts on the home run side. Nick Kurtz is who I want to round it out with. Kurtz had another home run. He just keeps hitting and keeps hitting and keeps hitting. Nick Kurtz is on the cusp of a call-up. I don't think it happens like super soon, but I think it could happen like by midsummer. Today's highlights. What are we watching? Well, Paul Skeens versus Ryan Pepio. It's on if you're watching this right now. I'm just finishing up recording, and this is about to start. That's going to be a great start in Tampa, in Steinbrenner. Should be a lot of fun, so I'm watching that. Sean Burke versus Pablo Lopez. I'm watching Mackenzie Gore again. Again, Gore build off of that 13 strikeout opening day start, which was so dominant. We have Luis Castillo against Tarek Skubal. Will be a ton of fun to watch. That's definitely a matchup you want to see. Clay Holmes is on the mound. Garrett Crochet is on the mound. Zach Gallen versus Carlos Rodon will be a lot of fun. So a lot of fun pitching matchups today on the MLB side. In AAA, we have Lazaro Estrada on the mound for the Blue Jays. The matchup that I think the best matchup will be Chase Petty versus Noah Cameron. That will be what I'm watching. Reds versus Royals. Great matchup there. 2 really great arms and 2 good lineups. Andrew Morris versus Parker Messick also. Morris of the Twins, Parker Messick of the Guardians. That should be a really good matchup. Bubba Chandler's on the bump, which will be fun. My personal favorite, Cameron Weston of the Orioles. He'll be throwing today, so I'd watch that. He's facing off against Owen White, who has been on 3 teams in the last 2 months. Adam Mazur's throwing for the Marlins AAA. So yeah, I mean, those are some fun arms to watch, but that'll get you ready for everything you know today. But thanks for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow at a much earlier time. I promise you that.